Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, have you heard of the Hidden Compass, the podcast?
Why, yes, I have. Hidden Compass, the podcast, is about stories and storytellers at the frontiers of courage and curiosity. Join Hidden Compass co-founders and podcast co-hosts Sabine and Sivani as they narrate stories from their award-winning magazine, and then go behind the scenes in interviews with each storyteller to see what inspired them to venture to the frontiers of courage and curiosity. Hidden Compass is for the journalist chasing big questions and meaningful exploration. It is for the reader hunting profound stories that immerse, inspire, and inform. It is for anyone aching for substance and longing to celebrate collective human endeavor. Here, the nuance of the world is within reach. Hold on to it. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe.
Great, Mike. I'm going to subscribe today. Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, elderberry boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic elderberry boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on TechTime Radio, so you need to go to elderberry. That's elderberry-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
You go, hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of unidragon.com?
Have I ever heard of unidragon.com?
Yes, unidragon.com.
Why, yes, I have heard of unidragon.com. That's the puzzle dude.
The puzzle dude, that's correct. He has tons of puzzles, and of course, he is the best and original wooden puzzles.
You have owls.
Guess what is the #1 best-selling puzzle?
The owl.
Do you think you had anything to do with that?
No, everybody loves owls.
Well, right now, you can get 40% off in stock if you go to unidragon.com/products/enchanting owl. You need to make sure you get yours today. Now, they also have 2 to 6 days for shipping. You can domestically ship within the United States. They have a great customer support. If you ever have any questions regarding your puzzle, except for how to put it together, you can email them at care@unidragon.com. If you want to get 10% off, you can use our code DRAGONTECH. Again, that's Dragon, DRAGON, Tech, TECH, for a 10% off discounts. Now, if you want the original, go to unidragon.com. Beware of fakes. Only get your wooden puzzles at unidragon.com.
Get them all.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of the Homebrew podcast?
I totally have. Get it, nerds. We're hunting space dinosaurs.
The Homebrew podcast is the best adventure. It's published weekly and is everywhere podcasts can be found.
They're veteran Dungeons and Dragons player who love phenomenal stories, endearing characters, and a good adventure. They're currently engaged in a reimagined 5th edition sci-fi campaign called Absurdism and a Millennium Abroad. Whether you're new to D&D, a seasoned DM, somewhere in between, or just enjoy a good story, you've come to the right place. Join them while they explore the universe and push the boundaries.
So explain to me, Mike, what does the 5th edition mean?
They're using the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons rule set put out by Wizards of the Coast.
Catch it online today at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. You can find them at facebook.com/homebrew podcast, or you can check them out at twitter.com/thehomebrew DND, or again, anywhere you get your podcast feeds.
Why don't you just go to https://thehomebrewpodcast.com?
Well, that would be a good idea, Mike. You can find them there also. We would like to thank Podcorn for sponsoring this episode of Tech Time Radio. Explore sponsorship opportunities and start monetizing your podcast by signing up at podcorn.com/podcasters. Let me tell you about Podcorn. Podcorn is an absolute must for for any podcaster starting out. Now, when we started out TechTime Radio, we started out in a back office with a couple of mics. We expanded to a studio, and then now, as you can see, we're on the radio and have distribution into other markets. Having the ability to have Podcorn at the start of our podcast would have been a dream come true. Guess what? With Podcorn, you now have the amazing opportunity for podcasts to receive sponsorship, such as host reads, interview segments, and topical discussions. With Podcorn, there's no middleman. Podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on their platform, set their own rates, and collaborate with brands directly without exclusivities. You never give up the rights of your podcast in Podcorn, and they're here to support you everywhere possible. Visit podcorn.com. Again, that's podcorn.com. Podcorn is a true success for those starting their podcast dreams.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
You go, boy.
All right. Welcome to TechTime Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here and David Brown behind the board. Welcome to the technology show that makes you go, Technology news of the week. The show for the everyday common person weeks ahead of the mainstream media. I'm Nathan Mumm, and welcome to our live show on Saturdays. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. If you're catching us on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not 4 to 6 p.m., or Sunday, you are catching a rebroadcast. So go to techtimeradio.com to make sure you are up on all of the most up-to-date information. We have a packed show today. Let me tell you about it. We got 2 hours to get through technology, and we're going to be lucky to get through all of our special guests, all of our items to talk about. It's amazing. As we went from a 1 hour show to a 2 hour show, we're like, oh, are we ever going to have time to fill this stuff? And now I literally was looking at...
We could go to a 4 hour show.
We could go at least to 3 hours now. That's how much technology is up there.
I don't think we should, though.
You don't think so?
We might get in trouble.
That's true. All right. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to be talking about Apple. Is Apple able to overcome some European Union items that we're going to be talking about?
Boy, the European Union is really nailing.
They are. They're getting everybody in technology right now.
Yeah.
They're just swinging a big stick and saying, hey, if you want to play in our space and our sandbox,
that's right.
You're going to have our rules.
Is it EU that's going after Amazon too, or is that?
Yes,
I know
that is them. Yep, that is
France
them
is too.
Yep. All right. Well, then we're going to be having our guest this hour. We got Trina Martin. She's going to be talking about business chat tools. Specifically, she's going to be highlighting the application called Slack. So I don't know if you're familiar with Slack.
Yeah.
Okay, so am I. Very much familiar with it.
That's a new gamer platform.
No. Slack is a chat tool for interface. So you must not be. You're thinking of Steam maybe or something else.
I may be thinking of something.
Okay. So we're gonna be talking about that. So it'll be great for you. She gets a lot of information. She'll help you. So now you know what to do on that. We have our Sony PlayStation 4 firmware upgrade. We're going to explain that in gamer time. Very interesting thing that happened there because they were going to be bricked. And then we're going to be covering the Nintendo Switch and its competitor, the Steam Deck, along with Mike's Mesmerizing Moment brought to us by StoriCoffee. And maybe we'll have some time to do an NFT today or not. Probably not because we're so busy. You haven't done those for a while?
No.
Okay. And then, of course, we have our whiskey tasting on the first hour. On the second hour, we have our letter segment back, a staple that us older generation like. The younger generation like the steals and deals, and the older generation kind of likes the letters. So we got rotating bases. Letters is back this week. We have Ask the Expert. We have Nick Espinoza. He's going to be talking about all the Apple breaches we've had in the last few weeks. So, again, everybody always thinks Apple's the most safest secure environment to be on there. Yeah, no, we're going to be talking about some big issues that have happened. I don't know if you upgraded your iPhones to the iOS 15 upgrade. If you did, oh my gosh. Why do they now have the internet browser at the very bottom of your phone for Safari? I just hit it all the time. Very inconvenient. I liked being able to have to go and scroll to the top.
You know,
still disappointed about that.
That's like grocery stores that change their produce every week.
Don't you hate that? You go on and the milk's in the very back, and then all of a sudden they move it to like the front left corner. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's to keep they're doing it on purpose
Okay.
to keep us looking for things. Because if we keep looking for things, we might see things that we weren't thinking of and buy it.
And demand buy. Okay, I got you. All right. And then, of course, if you would like to call us, you can always give us a call. Our numbers are 425-373-5527, or you can call the 188 number, 188-298-KKNW. We are live streaming on Twitch today. So, on Twitch. We're live streaming on YouTube. We're live streaming on Facebook. And we're live streaming on Twitter as a new added plugin. So if you want to catch us on any of those areas, all you got to do is search for TechTime Radio on any social media, and we have that taken care of. All right, here we go. Mike, I got the loaded question of the day brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberryboost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
There you go, David. Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry Boost.
All right. What do you consider a horrible word?
I grew up with a phrase.
Okay.
Bless your heart.
Oh, and did that really mean bless your heart?
It never means. It basically means you're an idiot.
It's an idiot.
Yeah.
So
But
would your mom
nice.
go around and just say, "Oh, bless your heart"?
Yeah, I'm from the South, so
Okay.
everybody says it down there.
Okay.
Well, bless his heart. Oh, I just did something stupid.
Is that what that means?
That's
Okay.
what I did.
All right. Well, that was the loaded question of the day brought to you by Elderberry Boost. And now, Mike, we are going to move into our first segment. Let's get our show started with our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right. Story number one, sick of iPhone chargers. So is the European Union. All right.
Here we go.
Apple may have to change its iPhone Lightning cable chargers in Europe as the EU seeks to enforce a common USB-C standard for all cell phones. This new legislation will come into effect in 2024, bringing more freedom and fewer costs. But let's take a look at the Bloomberg report and see if that's all what it's cracked up to be.
The European Union is hoping that the standardization will cut waste and make things more convenient for people who own multiple devices. Apple, whose iPhones and other products use the company's own Lightning charging port. But Apple opposes the switch, saying, quote, it stifles innovation rather than encouraging it. So the mandate could save consumers €250 million a year by scrapping the cost for buying those new chargers.
All right, let me just tell you, Apple makes...
That's an interesting thing because it's not
stifles,
about... It's not stifling. It's keeping people from buying...
They make 6% of their revenue yearly is in licensing fees that they allow other people to license their hardware technology, including Lightning port replicators for all these third-party knockoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the 6% of the company's money, they're going to drain out immediately with that. Plus, then
but
Apple...
that's just in the EU.
And just in the European Union. Well, okay, if this
right
happens,
it's going to
and
happen.
they allow this to happen in 2024, Apple's going to do one of two things. Either they're going to just convert to USB-C and have that as a part of it. They already have 2 USB-C ports on I got my Mac laptop right here. 2 USB-C ports with my port replicator built into this automatically. So there's not a reason why they couldn't necessarily go to that for all their charging devices, and I'm sure they will, but it will cost them money.
Yeah,
It's not really going to save them money. It's going to help the consumer.
They're going to fight tooth and nail because that's one of the things about Apple, right? Apple's like, no, we're not sharing.
That's right. We're always going to be different.
That's right.
We're so creative. We're so awesome. We never get any viruses or hacks, although we're going to be talking about them exclusively for about 30 minutes on our second hour about all the hacks that have happened just this last 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, I think you got story number 2 there?
Yeah. So what do you think about AI becoming a, inventor of a patent?
Oh, we talked about this at our production meeting. Yeah.
So and again, this comes out of the UK.
Okay.
It also has some ramifications from the U.S. too, but they have determined that AI cannot be the inventor of a patent.
Oh, wow. So you can't have an AI, artificial intelligence. Well,
artificial intelligence is not allowed to create patents.
That kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but here we have. We were joking. This is the start of Skynet. They're just going to go a different route. They're going to go into the patent office. But artificial intelligence cannot be the inventor of new patents, which is ruled by the UK Court of Appeals.
Okay.
Patents assign the ownership of new inventions to its creator, And at its core, the argument was about whether a law written for human inventors can be applied to machines.
All right.
The appeal court ruled against Stephen Thaler, who is the creator of a system called Dabus. I think that's I don't know how you pronounce it.
That's
Dabus.
Okay.
Who took a case against the UK's Intellectual Property Office, which refused patents to his AI. And that's because when he put in for the patents, he didn't put himself as a creator. He put his system as the creator.
I think he did this more than just one
he did it
right?
here. Yeah, he did it here and was shot down too.
Okay.
So latest such judgment, a long-running battle to grant machines the status of inventor. So this has been going on for a while. UK panel decided by a 2-to-1 majority that an inventor must be a real human person under UK law.
Kind of makes sense.
Earlier this month, U.S. District Court Judge Leonie M. Brinkema upheld that ruling.
Okay.
Writing that as technology evolves, there may come a time when artificial intelligence reaches a level of sophistication such that it might satisfy accepted meanings of inventorship. But that time has not yet arrived, and if it does, it will be up to Congress to decide how, if at all, it wants to expand the scope of patent law.
Okay, well, you can't get a patent law if you're dead either, right? So, I mean, if you kind of take a look at it, the way that they issue patents, you have to have a living, breathing.
Well, yeah. Did you ever see that movie Bicentennial Man?
I did.
That's what I thought of when here you can see Robin Williams trying to prove that he's a real live human from a robot. So there it is. There's the start of Bicentennial Man. And
Bicentennial Man.
Takeover by Skynet.
Everything. If you notice, everything's there's these technologies now where they can move protons from light to light. Kind of like the whole transporters. There's a 5 minutes, David. All right, last story, real quick. He's like, "Hey, we got to stay on. We got to stay on board." That's right.
That was a quick salute there.
Self-driving tech returns to California racetrack. If you have a self-driving car, or if you have the opportunity and want to learn about self-driving cars, you have your opportunity to come on up with companies from NVIDIA to all of the other AI companies available. Just go to selfracingcars.com, and they have a competition where they open up a track field in California. Mm-hmm. You can rent it by time. You can rent it by races that you want to participate in, and you can have AI completely controlled cars. You can have a person in there with AI assistance cars.
That's
so it's
awesome.
And it's this whole 2-day event that you can go and be a part of.
AI audiences?
I don't know if they have AI.
Who's going to watch this?
Well, it's October 16th and 17th, and I think they actually want people to show up so they can make money there. I don't think they want the
this
AI
is not going to
audience.
replace NASCAR, I don't think.
No, it's not. But it's an ability to have a racetrack. If you have an AI in a small business and you want to go down and test some automations, here's your opportunity to do that. All right, that gets us through our top stories in the first 5 minutes. Mike, when we come on back, we got Trina Martin, the host of Trina Talk. You can find out more about her going to www.trinalmartin.com. She's going to be talking about communication applications, an application called Slack. We're excited to have her on as a part of her monthly program with TechTime Radio. You're listening to TechTime with Nathan Mumm. We'll see you after this break. Hi, I'm Nathan Mumm, host of TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm on KKNW. TechTime Radio's live show is Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can always check us on the web at techtimeradio.com. Our segmented stylized radio gives you the breaking news before it hits mainstream media. Join myself and Mike Corday as we'll make you laugh.
That's good. So, Hooked on Phonics worked for you, didn't it?
It did, just a little bit. And learning something new in technology. Join us Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m., and Thursdays from 6 to 7 a.m. The Technology Show for the everyday common person.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, the show that takes a positive, forward-looking approach to mid to late career transitions for Gen Xers and Boomers every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific. Whether you're looking to stay in the traditional workforce, do your own thing, or retire or semi-retire, Reigniting You is your source for career transition advice, inspiration, and insight for what's next in your career and life. Join me Wednesdays at 3 o'clock to get re-energized, recharged, and reignited.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Corday here and David Brown behind the board. You know, during our first segment, we always have our whiskey tasting. So we have the Blanton's Kentucky Single Barrel Bourbon Whiskey, $69, 93 proof, taken from the center cut of the middle section of the famous Warehouse H original single barrel, designated for ambassadors, dignitaries, and the colonial Blanton's family and friends. Today, everyone has access to the first single barrel that was available with the sweet note taste of citrus and oak and a creamy vanilla nose to end with a caramel and butterscotch aftertaste.
Yeah, I might be related to them.
You might be related to them?
Yes, I'm related to some Blantons down in Georgia.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, you know what? Maybe this is your long-lost...
Maybe this is my long-lost bourbon.
What do you think of the bottle?
I love the bottle.
You like the bottle? What
yeah,
do you
I want the bottle.
You want the bottle?
Yes.
What do you think of the bourbon?
The bourbon is good. I'm not sure if it's as good as last week's.
Last week was pretty good.
107.
Yeah. This is only $69, right?
Yeah.
So it's half the price.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the price has anything to do with it. This one is tasty, but I don't think it's quite as tasty.
I think it's going to get better as the day goes through.
Well, I'm sure.
Well, not just because we're drinking it, but I think as it sets a little bit more and gets a little bit of aroma, I think it'll be better tasting.
But definitely the bottle is awesome.
All right. Well, let's get right on to our next subject as we get Trina Martin ready to join us.
Welcome to Technology Insider. We get the information directly from the source.
All right. We're going to be bringing up Trina Martin. She's going to be coming to us.
There she is.
Excited to have her back on the show. Trina, how are you doing? Uh-oh. Hang on a second,
muted.
Trina. Hang on. Your mic's muted. Hang on. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect.
All right. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing good. We had some good whiskey there a little bit. So, it's a beautiful day here
Any
in the
day's a
Pacific
good
Northwest.
Day with good whiskey.
So I just had to fill out this health event for this deal, and they asked me if I drink. And right? And so I drank like maybe a beer every 2 or 3 days. And then are you a habitual drinker? This lady asked me on the telephone, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. Every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m., I drink on this radio show whiskey. The lady looked at she was like, what are you talking about? I said, I got a radio show, and I drink whiskey. I'm so sorry.
I know. I have to answer that question, too, when I go to the medical thing.
And now you're like, yeah, I guess I do drink weekly. So it's like, oops, that
once a
box. Yeah, once a week. All right. Trina, well, welcome to the show. We're excited to have you on to talk about some communication tools. I know you want to talk absolutely about Slack, and we need to learn because, Mr. Gourdet here thought Slack was a video game application. So that's not good. So
I was saying that's something that's used by a lot of video game
Discord, isn't it? Discord more?
But I think I was thinking of Discord.
I think you're thinking Discord a little bit. All right. So let's talk a little bit about communication tools. Have you used Microsoft Teams?
I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you used Chatwork or CA's Flow Deck by chance?
I have not. I'm familiar with them, but I have not personally used them.
Okay. So if you compared Slack versus Microsoft Teams, which would you say would be a preferred platform?
For me, Slack. I don't like anything Microsoft.
Okay. That's okay. That's absolutely that's very good. Okay.
I'm pretty biased, but I wasn't sure about Slack at first. Then I started using it, and I'm kind of digging on it.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about Slack.
Okay. So Slack is basically a communication platform, and you can put it on your desktop, but most people use it on their phones. And it is broken down into channels. And basically, Slack's goal was to pull everyone away from sending emails and have this all inclusive app where you could talk, you can send messages, communicate with your team, everything on this app. And it has conversations, it has a robust search. So if you first of all, you're going to break down everything into channels. So let's just say we have a channel called TechTime Radio, and the three of us are in that channel. We can talk. So anybody outside of that channel doesn't have to be bothered with our conversations. So you know how irritating it is when you get an email and somebody replies all?
I do. Oh, yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, I reply all. It's like, who cares? I'm so excited about that. Okay, great. I didn't need to see that. Now I got to delete that email.
I think people who reply all are just butt kissers most of the time.
You know what? I think they are actually too, because most of the people that reply all are
like, great, that was a great email.
That's a great idea.
Up.
They were so excited about it. I'm like, delete. I'm like, you're I don't like you anyways. Okay, so we get a channel now. Is it only typing in Slack, or can I actually have a headset on and talk to you? How do I communicate in that application itself if we're in the channel of TechTime?
You're typing, but you also can do video calls and voice call, and now they have added where you could do kind of like clips. So say I wanted to just send you, instead of the group, a little quick snippet of a conversation. Like I said, oh, well, hey, Nathan, I need XYZ from you. I could send you that, or I could do a quick video clip and send that to you. Or we could get on all three of us together and do a video call, right? So they have different levels of different tiers of their plans. You can get the basic, which is free, one-on-one. And then if you want to get the paid plans, they go into tiers where you can actually use it for your teams, depending on how big your team are. So it's really kind of cool. And how I've been using Slack nowadays is, one, I use it for my coaching clients. So I hate, again, Microsoft, but I don't like Facebook either. So I know a lot of people use Facebook groups.
Yeah, you and Mike are together with
we're
Facebook.
Together on the Facebook.
Mike just cannot stand Facebook. If there's any technology Mike hates, it's not Amazon, but he hates Facebook. So, okay, I totally get you there. We totally get it. You don't like giving all your information to them at the beginning and secondary. So, okay, continue on. So how would you use this again? Sorry about that.
So I use it with the client, my coaching client. So I set up a channel specifically for whatever coaching client. Each one has their different channel, and I can talk directly to them. Now, a lot of coaching and different mastermind groups, they do Facebook groups. Like I said, not a fan of Facebook. But what I've really been loving with Slack is it integrates with different apps. And what I've used it for is I have it integrating so that when someone responds to my podcast application, I have the notification come to Slack so it can ping me, and then I can look at it before I approve or disapprove it. And I'm like, you know what? I like it. So that's what I've been really using it for. And I'm actually kind of digging on it. I haven't really got into some of the heavy stuff that I know it can do. It can do some other things, but that's what I'm kind of liking right now, because it's like an instant response where I don't have to wait, or I'm not waiting through email, because we all have too many emails nowadays. And I know it's like the more I try to get rid of email, the more it is just keep popping up. I'm like, who are these people? I didn't sign up for this email list. So you get these emails. So actually using chat applications are a way to get away from those emails where you're just talking about what you want to talk about with whom you want to talk about.
Yeah, Mike hates emails too. we got a clip of it.
Don't get me started about my email. I hate my email.
That's from one of our shows. That's right. Good job, David. All right. So let's talk about this. Now, are you paying for the full version of Slack? Are you paying for an intermediate version, or are you just using the free version currently right now?
I'm using the free version, and it works well for me for what I have to do.
So you can have your podcast connect to it. You can have clients that have separate channels, all for the free version. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Because I think it starts out now. One of the things you can't do with the free version is like they have a where you can search and go through their archives of your messages, things like that. If you need to go all the way back, I don't have that because I don't need to search that far back on anything. So with my free version, I'm able to do one-on-one voice calls with anyone and set up my channels. And within the channels, you could do threads. Now, I don't do that on my small free one because I'm not talking to that many people. But if you had a company where you have, 50, 60 people you may be talking to within that channel, you can set up a thread. So when you want to go back and search for a conversation saying, okay, I remember I sent this file, you can go back and search that thread, because you also can send files through Slack. So it's pretty cool. It does some of the same things that the Microsoft Teams and Amazon Chime and the CA Flow, Flow Charter, whatever, does. But I like it. I think they have a little bit up on some of the other platforms.
So if you want to give your information to Amazon, you can do Amazon Chime, right? So Amazon Chime is their deal. They can have a host up to 250 attendees, and it costs $3 per user per day or $15 per user per month. That is interesting. I don't quite get why they're trying to charge for $3 per user per day. So that's pretty darn expensive for a chat tool.
Yeah, and here's what they do too. And I was looking, and they also offer a pay per use pricing.
Correct.
Yeah, so I don't know about that.
I don't know about it either. I don't know what Amazon is trying to get up their sleeves on this type of deal. All right. So let me ask here, so you can Can you connect to Dropbox, Google Drive? What other third-party apps are Slack able to connect with so that you're not? I know that Slack, I think, is more eco-friendly with other different platforms. So what other platforms can Slack combine and work with?
They have a host of different integrations you can use. So personally, I use Zapier.
Okay.
So that's how I have my notifications come. But as you said, there's Google Drive, Google Calendar. There's a whole slew of them. I was looking at them the other day. I think they have like 200 or 300, or probably more than that they actually integrate directly with. So if you want to Dropbox, send a file from Dropbox, you can actually, without leaving Slack, you can actually do that within the app. So you don't have to like bounce out, go to Dropbox, log in, download that file, put it in the Slack. So all of this stuff you can do right in Slack. So just by hooking the integrations up and connecting them, you don't have to leave Slack at all. Everything is done within that platform.
We're going to have to get KKNW 1150 to get Slack, because I have to drag and drop it to Dropbox all the time.
Are you a Slack fan too?
So I've used Slack. I used Slack when it very first came on out. And I'm not a big chat guy. So I'm a little bit more old school, where I send even small messages in emails. I do. And you know that, right?
Yeah.
So I'll send like literally 2 minute, 1 minute, hey, how about this? And just like text messaging in it, because when Slack first came out, I'm going to ask Trina if it's changed. If I send a text message and somebody is not online, it will stay there, but it doesn't normally pop up as the first when that person logs back in. It would scroll through different items. Has Slack changed that? Let's say that you send a text message to me and I'm offline for a little bit. Well, how am I going to find that next when I come back into Slack, Trina?
Yeah, I think you're correct with that. So if you're offline, it's just there until you log back in, and it's kind of like email, right? Whoever's the last person to send you something, that's what's on top.
That's correct. So let me just tell you, I want Slack or any of these messaging services that if I'm offline, the next time I come in and log back in, to come up with a deal like I was online and say, Trina just messaged me here, open up a bubble, open up another bubble, and I don't care if it's like 8 or 9 bubbles. I would.
Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine you open up, you go online, and it's like bing, 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 bing.
But then
bing,
I can
bing,
respond to all of them. Otherwise, what happens is I'll miss somebody in chat. And so let me just tell you, IRC, Internet Relay Chat, back in the olden days, okay, I mean, when we used to do Napster downloads of illegal songs, which, so we won't talk about. IRC had the deal where it popped up all those windows. And I don't know if somebody just said, hey, I hate all those windows popping up, so they decided to turn it off. And
well, actually, I think from a human perspective, that can be fairly stressful for most people.
Really?
Yeah. Because one of the problems with these types of services that we're running into is that we have an immediate need to respond to these things. So if you get like 50 bubbles popping up when you come back online, that's like coming back from vacation and opening your inbox and your email, and you're like, I'm going to take another day off.
So maybe I am just...
You're just weird.
I'm just weird. Okay, I get it. Maybe that's why none of these places have done that, because it used to be there and they don't do that anymore. All right. Last thing, Trina, if I have someone listen to it, they said, okay, you know what? Let's say I have a preschool, or I got a daycare, or I got some way I want to communicate with people for the everyday common person. What is the best use of Slack? The free version. We're not paying for it. The free version. What would be the best suggestion for them to use that app?
For a small business,
I
would definitely, I use it. So yes, I would suggest that other people use it, because one, if you don't want someone sending emails, so you don't want to send emails and then wait for somebody to give you a reply. So with Slack, it's instant communication, as long as the person, of course, is there. So chatting, where you don't have to wait for a response, waiting on email or calling. And then we all have our phones with us all the time, right? So if you can get an instant live response, that's great. And just the fact of being able to do a quick video or audio call, that's always good as well.
And how good is the video quality? Because I have not tried the video quality. I use Zoom a lot, so I tried Microsoft Teams. Way too complicated. I hated Zoom when it first came out.
Yeah,
I wrote a nasty letter to Zoom, And the vice president responded to me of technology because I said your security sucked. I said all these things about it, and he kept me up to date for like 2 months. He would send me weekly reports of what they were doing for their security.
Right.
Now I love Zoom. I use it all the time. How does it compare to one of those type of deals when you actually get into the video itself?
See, now that I can't tell you because I'm a Zoom person too. When I have to do a video call, I do Zoom. But yeah, Teams is too difficult, and half the time it doesn't.
Doesn't work right. In here, you're always hitting all these little buttons, right? You're always the configuration in here. Yeah, it's like
I know.
It's
I know. My organization is moving towards doing Teams.
Oh boy,
I'm like great.
Oh,
it's because it's cheap and they got some
it's
type.
because
It's all integrated
because
together.
they got an integrated system, and they're now saying, well, we're going like no.
So Teams is going to be
no.
as good as SharePoint was. Oh, SharePoint.
Yeah,
so sad.
I
So,
hate
do you
SharePoint.
you understand Microsoft's application SharePoint is supposed to collaborate people? It is the #1 consulted company application at Microsoft. Over 80% of people that use Microsoft SharePoint have to have a customization by a consultant.
I believe it because it's an S show.
It's very bad. It is. All right. Trina, I appreciate you for jumping on the phone or the internet. It's not really the phone anymore, but the internet, and joining us for today's show. I always look forward to having you on, and then we're going to have you on in a month again. So thank you for being a part of our regular program. We're going to head out here to a commercial break, and when we come on back, oh boy, we got Gamer Time segment. We got the Steam Deck, we got the Nintendo Switch, and we got a PlayStation 4 hack that is kind of an interesting hack. We're going to talk about that.
Yep.
We'll see you. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to Tech Time Radio.
Bye, Trina.
Did you know that up to 12 to 15% of Americans grind their teeth at night while they sleep? Yeah, it's called bruxism. I used to work at a sleep lab, and we used to measure that, and it leads to a lot of problems like headaches and destroys your teeth. It wears down the enamel, and it's just very hard on your mouth.
So every once in a while I'll wake up, my jaw will hurt. Do you think that I'm grinding my teeth at night?
Yep.
Well, so how do you go about protecting this then?
The #1 recommended way of protecting yourself from teeth grinding is what's called a night guard, which is a custom fitted prosthetic that you put inside your mouth. It usually runs, hundreds of dollars, but I know our sponsor, Smile Brilliant, can get you custom fitted night guards for as little as $45 a piece.
So if you go to smilebrilliant.com and use TechTime Radio at checkout, you can receive 20% off your complete order. So visit smilebrilliant.com and use the TechTime Radio at checkout code.
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Mike, how's the whiskey tasting?
It's good.
It's good.
It's getting a little bite as it breathes more, but
It does. It has a little bit bite, doesn't it? It tastes really good with like a little bit of some syrup in there. You know that?
sure.
I don't know if I would just drink
What
after
kind of syrup?
a little bit. I think you'd want a little bit of a caramel taste. Wouldn't you want a little bit of
I
a
don't know.
caramel taste?
Maybe.
I think maybe that would be a little bit of milk to a little caramel and
Mrs.
milk there.
Butterworth.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Mrs. Butterworth around anymore?
I don't know.
I don't. There's all those places that aren't around anymore. Kind of like a Blockbuster. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to move on to our next segment. And David, let's get it ready to go. Welcome to Gamer Time, where we cover the current news on gaming companies and market changes in the digital market world. Entertainment gaming accounts for over 30% of technology companies in the United States. Did you know that?
I did.
Okay. I
mean,
did too.
yeah.
We play a lot of
I'm-
games, right?
I wouldn't classify myself as a gamer.
What are you talking about? You are an expert on the cannons on Sea of Thieves.
I play games, but
Okay.
I'm definitely not as hooked up as most people are. 'Cause
That's
I
true.
don't- I have a Discord channel.
Okay.
I don't use it.
Okay.
I was talking about Slack earlier and trying to remember what that was. So, but I play games. I've always played games ever since Pong came out.
Our staff every Thursday wants us to start streaming our Sea of Thieves
I know.
games. It's like, oh, you should stream it. You should stream
I don't
your
know.
Sea of-
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea
because-
either. That's kind of our downtime where we can kind of just go out there and kill people and rage quit. Right.
Hey, I haven't rage quit in a while.
You've been really good about that, actually.
Yeah.
But that's because we're getting pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a lot calmer too.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, let's start with story number one.
Because I'm getting married.
That's right. You are getting married. That's going to be in Mike's mesmerizing moment, right? You're not going to be here very often in December, it looks like, right?
That's right. I'm going to miss some time.
Miss some time from the radio show. Maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know yet, right? Is it also kind of up there?
Tentatively, yes.
Well, congratulations on being engaged. That's
Thank you.
exciting. All right. Okay, story number one. Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis games are coming to Switch Online. Have you looked at what Switch Online is? I had to actually look it up because I did not know what Switch Online was.
No, I don't know what that is.
So Switch Online is, again, like every other online deal. Essentially, you pay a monthly fee, $399.
Wow.
No, $3.99 per month, includes over 100 classic Nintendo Entertainment System games.
That's really
Super NES.
Yeah, I'm really kind of excited about that.
Because for $3.90.
Yeah. I told you I got rid of all my subscription services.
You did last week. Yep.
Trying to save money and pay off debts and stuff.
Okay.
And so here we got this one that I'm like,
listen, what's going to happen?
I totally want to.
So
play
for
some
your
of this
Switch
stuff.
for $3.99 per month, your Super NES, NES, and now guess what they have? Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis games.
Know.
Let's talk about Super Mario Kart. I know. Star Fox 64, Mario Kart 64, Yoshi's Story, The Legend of Zelda. Ocarina of Time. Ocarina?
Yeah.
Is that really Ocarina?
Ocarina. Yeah.
Oh, cornea. I always thought it was a cornea.
I don't know how you pronounce how you got.
I thought that was it. I actually think I've watched some YouTube people that mispronounced it as that. I'm pretty sure I did.
I could be wrong.
You might be because,
but I can't see how you get a cornea out of that.
Okay.
I see
Mario Tennis.
Ocarina.
Oh, is that? Ocarina?
I see Ocarina.
Okay, all right. And Dr. Mario 64. Sega Genesis games, you get yourself Golden Axe, Eco the Dolphin, Contra Hard Corps, Castlevania Bloodlines, Gunstar Heroes, Phantasy Star Force, Shining Force, and many others. Nintendo has only revealed these games so far, but apparently more are coming in the future. As added bonuses, Nintendo has announced the new Genesis and N64 controllers are coming to the Switch later this year, too.
Awesome.
So you can plug in on the sides the Nintendo Switch and get a Genesis and Nintendo 64.
I just found my old Sega Genesis and my Nintendo 64.
Oh, you should sell those. There's a pretty big bank for those.
I may, but I may want to just play them.
Okay, that's true.
So,
I got you, too.
But they don't have Sonic? Just the first?
They have Sonic 2.
Where's Sonic?
Well,
I want Sonic the Hedgehog, the original.
Maybe they already have that as a part of the original deal. I have not taken a look at it, so maybe it's already in there. But Sonic 2, isn't that the one with the chows? My kids used to play that all the time, little chows, and they had these little devices. That was the Dreamcast one.
Yeah, that was the...
I don't remember.
I have that one.
Okay. That was like a big deal. They were like the little Tamagotchis available in the game.
Yeah.
That was a cool idea.
That was like Sonic 3D or something like that.
Is that a different version? Yeah. Okay. All right. Story number 2. The Steam Deck, the rival to the Nintendo Switch, will begin shipping in December 2021. And guess who has one coming to his house?
Yep.
And a big issue that has kept people away from ordering these has been resolved. And over 100,000 people, since this issue has been resolved, have signed up for new orders.
And
so they're saying that they have more Steam Deck pre-order sales than they ever expected to sell a Steam Deck. Mm-hmm. So they're not telling what the number is. But what they have done is they have resolved the availability of creating anti-cheat software. So this is like a big deal for like Valve, right? Promise to work with anti-cheat software areas. The Steam Deck's Linux-based handheld says that they have officially onboarded Epic Games, which is a big deal, right? That's like Fortnite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And developers that used to have patches to make sure that their games were not allowed to cheat, including Apex Legends, Dead by Daylight. My kids play that one, too. That's a weird deal.
I like that one.
You like that? You kill people, and then you put them up on the hook, and then they have to try to be free?
Yeah, well, that's the one where you get to play like a Freddy.
Or Jason
type,
and all those
everybody else is the stupid...
people trying to run away.
Teens that are, running and falling.
Oh, yeah. my kid plays that all the time. He likes that. War of Thunder and other games. Essentially, this has allowed the 7 Days to Die, Fall Guys, Black Desert Hunt, Showdown, Paladins, and Halo the Master Chief Collection are now being able to be played on the Steam Deck, available in handheld format for people to have since the anti-cheat's there.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so, because I know cheating is a huge thing, and I despise.
Yeah, I don't like any hacks.
I don't like playing games where people are cheating all the time, and
what I'm worried about this Steam Deck when I get it is I may have to buy the Steam version of Sea of Thieves. Because then I could have it portably.
Yeah.
That would be like, then I could just be like at work and I could just be like,
well,
hey,
I play mine from my PC.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't play on the console. I play from my laptop.
Okay. All right. Sony PlayStation 4 firmware update version 9 has quickly solved an issue in the console's
Quietly solved.
quickly and quietly solved an issue with the console's internal CMOS battery. The battery powers the internal clock. We talked about this on the show, and it was essentially going to brick it, right? Because what happens if your CMOS battery runs out,
you lose that information.
You lose the information to be able to keep your online games that you had purchased online. That's why I kind of always purchase hard copies still. I'm an old user on this. I like the physical copy in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, I finally made that switch. I think the last physical game I bought was Battlefront 2.
Okay.
No, Battlefront.
So now it's just all download online?
Now, yeah, everything else I've just because I'm lazy.
Okay.
I don't want to cart around stuff anymore.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so the problem was fixed with the version 9 software, although it does not mention what the official patch notes, and it was very quietly taken care of. Now, there's assumptions that are being made about the PlayStation 4 online, and I have not been able to go through and modify it myself to take a look at it, but I watched a couple streaming services on YouTube with people that actually ended up taking out the battery itself and still booting up this system with this new patch in place. So it looks like their fix of what they were worried about the battery going out is they eliminated the battery altogether as a security process. So essentially, if you power up your unit and you have
because we were trying to figure out
how they did this,
what was creating this issue.
Yeah. So how was this issue created? I mean, it made sense. The battery just goes out and you can't play the games that you have stored. Made complete sense. But it looks like they've bypassed this. So now all of a sudden, I can tell you the PlayStation 4s are going to get a whole new relife because people will go and then they'll get big, huge libraries of video games that they probably didn't download and pay for legally, and then put them on the drives, and then they'll still be able to play them at a later time because they don't have that encryption information with the CMOS battery anymore.
There we go.
All right, well, that ends our segment. Hopefully you enjoyed our news on Gamer Time. When we come back, we have Mike's Mesmerizing Moment brought to us by StoriCoffee and Pick of the Day. This has been a great hour, and we are just halfway done because our second hour, we got Nick Espinosa that will be on. We got tons of other items, so it's going to be a great 2-hour show. We are going to see you right after this break. I'm Nathan Mumm.
Hey, Mike, as a business owner, why do we form an LLC or a corporation?
Well, that's pretty simple. We want to protect ourselves personally from the liability of the company.
That's right, Mike. The very next thing we should be doing as business owners is protecting ourselves personally from the finances of the company.
Right. Yeah, that's why you want to get help, and you can get help from the Business Doctor, which was founded by Dr. Glenn Smith, PhD in Business Management, Accounting, and Finance. Schedule your free business evaluation and consultation at thebusinessdoctor.us.
Enroll in the Rapid Business Credit Builder program and get up to 100K business credit under the company's EIN and the DUNS number in less than 6 months. The DUNS number is really important for your rating on when you purchase other items from other businesses, never having to use personal credit ever again. That's thebusinessdoctor.us or call 866-383-1030. Again, that's 866-383-1030 or thebusinessdoctor.us.
Visit the Business Doctor today.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com.
One of the things that was occurring to me while we were talking about Slack is, we have a problem with choice.
Okay.
And we have so many choices to make when we're talking about these platforms and these chat features and all this other stuff. The problem with that is that the human brain has a problem with that.
Okay.
We can only deal with 3 to 5 choices.
I've heard that on market researching where
right?
you only want to have like 3 objects to choose from.
Right. When we have more things to choose from, our brains start shutting down, and we can't make choices. It's very difficult to make choices because our brains are trying to. It's almost essentially like the brain is trying to pick every single choice, and it just freezes up. So one of the drawbacks to all this stuff that we're talking about is that there's so many choices, which, we talked about the EU saying, we're gonna standardize that. That's one of the reasons why we standardize things, is so it can take that mental pressure off of us to keep making choices when we don't need to.
So one of my little side things is I love cooking. I like doing a bunch of stuff in the barbecue, and so I bought a food trailer, right? So I was doing a bunch of information about how to have a food trailer out there, and it said the most successful food trailers have no more than 5 ingredients that they sell. And what happens is when you have the huge selection, that your brain gets overloaded. And then I actually did a bunch of research about some restaurants, and that when you get like a daily restaurant printout of here's our 4 or 5 things.
Specials.
Yeah, they're specials. Like you want 3 items, and if you really focus on those, you can sell those much easier than a full-based menu where you got to flip through and flip through and flip through.
Yeah, our brains are just not wired for that idea of, because we have to, when we look at the brain from take it out of the social context.
Yeah.
It's built a specific way, and it hasn't changed. And that specific way is that either it's about survival.
Okay.
It's like, I need to either run, or I need to fight, or I need to, I need to be able to make simple choices. So when something jumps out of the bushes at me, there's a simple choice involved. I don't have to worry about
fight or flight,
I need
right?
to put on my do I need to put on my roller skates? Do I have a bicycle? Do I have water skis? I don't have to worry about all that stuff. But when we take and put it into that social context where we live now, when we have so many choices, our brain's like basically freaking out all the time.
That makes sense.
What do I do?
All right, well, let's move right on here now to our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right, we got our Blantons, which you're trying to say that you're a part of the family. Kentucky single,
officially right now.
Yeah, Kentucky single barrel bourbon whiskey, $69, 93 proof. What did you think of the? Did you give a thumbs up?
I'm giving it a thumbs up. I like it. It's a really good taste, and there's a lot of separation of flavors in this one that I don't get with some other ones.
Okay.
I think I like last week's better than this one, but this one is good on its own, and the bottle sells it for me. So
is it better than Canadian Mist?
Everything's better. Drinking urine is probably better than Canadian Mist.
All right, okay. Well, let's take a look. All right, so we're finished our hour today. We talked with Slack. So if you haven't downloaded Slack yet, here's your nugget of the day from Nathan. You need to go get Slack. Great communication tool. Can plug into it. Well, you don't want to use communication tools.
Too many choices.
Too many choices for you, okay? Slack is a great opportunity. Trina's interview was fantastic. We did talk about what Apple's going to be doing on the USB-C ports. Are they going to need to change that? We talked about AI, I guess, doesn't have the ability to create a patent yet. That's good, so that we're not going to have to worry about Skynet quite yet.
Yeah, they're just gonna. Yeah, that's how Skynet's gonna get it.
All right, and if you want to have a availability to rent out a racetrack, you can do that in the upcoming next month for technology for AI taking things. That's right, and
you don't even have the little.
You don't even have to have the old remotes.
Triggers. Remember those little triggers?
You remember the batteries that came with those old RC cars? Right, you buy an RC car, right? It was like $200, $300, $400 back in the day when I was growing up.
Oh yeah,
and then you had to buy that little Tyco rechargeable deal.
I told you, I found a couple of those when I was packing.
Yeah, and then you'd charge those because you didn't want to have your own battery pack to do that with alkalines. Probably would have lasted at least 45 minutes if you had real alkalines. So you did the recharger. You go on out, getting ready to race your car, and you 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and then you're done. And you had to come back in. Yeah. And it took all day to charge the thing, too, right?
Yeah, so you basically carry around 50 little cadmium packs.
Yeah, so you
that
have
been pre-charged.
That are pre-charged, so I can continue my race.
Hang on a second. I got to unscrew the battery compartment and put this battery in.
That's right. All right, so let's talk about what we got on our second hour. So if you're joining us for this hour, and if you're listening to our broadcast encore on Thursday, you're not going to see the second hour. So now's the time to go to techtimeradio.com so you can see the second hour. And what are we going to be talking about in the second hour? We got our letter segment where we always talk about spam and emails that are sent to me during the week. Always funny to take a look at it. There was a big theme this week that we're going to be talking about on a bunch of...
I got a cool one on my phone this week.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that too. Yeah. All right, we got phishing emails. We have one of our favorite speakers back on Ask the Expert. We got Nick Espinoza, the CSO and founder of Security Fanatics. He's going to be joining us talking about Apple breaches. Yes, Apple phones do get breached. And then we're going to take a look at our big segment. What is your business doing? Are they spying on employees? And spying software is the number one software that companies are deploying for the work from home COVID scenario.
That's
so
right.
you're going to want to make sure you have that. Well, I'm Nathan Mumm, glad to be your host with my great co-hosts here, Mike Gorday, and we have David Brown behind the board. I wish you guys all a great week, and remember, technology can be your friend. I will talk to you later. See you in the next hour.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.